Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here coming at you from the Knife Center, and it's our favorite time of the week, taking a look at the coolest new knives that have just hit our shelves. Let's check them out. Alright, the first knife this week is kind of a continuation from some of the Boker stuff we were showing last week. It's a different designer from the bad guy, which was the big slip joint with the big aggressive blade, similar to this, as well as the fixed blade version. Now we've got a ball bearing flipper version, although, like I said, slightly different blade shape and a different designer, or at least not the same designer. I think this might be a Boker in-house design, but a similarly aggressive clip point blade on this particular knife, coming in about $73. Not too bad for what you get. 3.5 inches long, D2 steel, very wide clip point shape. Looks awesome. A very wide handle as well. It's not super thick, but due to that width, it is going to fill the hands up quite nicely. You're gonna have a big, solid grip, solid handle to hold on to, and then fold it up. It's nice drop shut action, which is cool. And you'll be able to carry it in the pocket without it taking up, or without it being too bulky, at least thickness wise. It will take up a little bit of real estate in your pocket, but it's not going to be so chonky that you won't be able to carry it in your jeans. And then that deep carry pocket clip is going to keep it pretty subtle as well. Pull it out, flip it open. Solid contact patch, like I mentioned. That golf ball texture on the G10 is going to give you a bit of grip. Just overall, really impressive, fun to play with, and not too expensive either. This next knife, however, is quite expensive. The big news this week is a bunch of new models from WE and CIVIVI. In addition to the 3 new models I'm going to show you right here, there's also some new variants of the Elementum and the Brazen Tanto, I believe. Check those all out below. But the first one is the Snick from WE Knife Company. And the cheaper versions come in just under $240. This particular version, with the Damasteel blade and 2 Damascus inlays, that's the biggest driver of the price here, a cool $637.50 for this guy right here. For that, like I said, you are getting those 2 big pieces of Damascus. They're finished really nicely, and you do have that powder metallurgy Damascus steel as well. And if you want to buy this to collect, great. If you want to buy this to use, it's also got a great profile for that. I'd probably wind up buying the quote-unquote cheaper version myself. They come with 20 CV blade steel, and on the titanium, different types of G10 or wood inlays, I believe. I think that's all right now, but again, you can check them all out at the link below. Nice enough handle. It's not as hand-filling as that Boker, but there is plenty there, and you do have this nice sweep to this clip point blade. Really excellent slicing profile, very acute at the tip for piercing as well. High flat grind means the efficiency is going to be there behind it. Just honestly a lot to recommend about that blade shape right there. And being a WE, it's put together really nicely. The edge is nice and thin. The fit and finish is spot on. You've got ball bearings in the pivot and a nicely tuned detent. So flip really well. Deep carry pocket clip on this guy as well, which is reversible. Awful lot to love here, I think, as well. Next up from WE is the Arsenal Flipper, which is an O-stop Hell design, which is a bit different from a lot of the stuff we're used to seeing from O-stop, but you still have some of his signature elements, including the little notch right here at the back of the blade, and that deep carry pocket clip seems very similar to some of the things we've seen from him before. Maybe I'm conflating that with the Real Steel Luna, which that's not his design. In any case, I do like the deep carry pocket clip right there. But anyway, the Arsenal Flipper, I'll get to all of the little details here in a second. 3.5 or almost 3.6 inch blade of 20 CV right here, coming in at about $276 right now. Now the handle construction of this knife is where it gets really interesting. I'll go ahead and fold it up here for a second. You've essentially got titanium on each side, but then an integral piece of G10 which forms the backspacer or the spine of the handle and wraps around each side and then anchors to the titanium pieces. So the whole knife, I guess, technically isn't integral, but you do have an integral G10 structural element to the handle itself. Gray in this particular case, but there are other colors. I think there might even be some micartas. Nope, I am wrong about that. So I apologize for that.
Instant fact check.
But some G10s, different color G10 options, and then black or gray on the titanium scale, or the titanium parts of the handle. Deep carry clip, like I mentioned, nice and thin, gonna look very classy. Reversible because it's mounted from the tail, which is one of my favorite ways to do a deep carry clip. Really cool execution right there. Pardon my slight fumble. Deployment. I'd say this is a flipper only knife, at least for me. Even though you do have the blade cutouts right there, the way this knife or the blade kind of buries into the handle, it's tricky to get in there. You can kind of pinch with 2 fingers to get it open, but it's going to be difficult to get in with just your thumb, because for me at least, when I try to do that, I'm simultaneously putting a little pressure on the lock bar with my other fingers. Makes it a little trickier. Flipper, however, works fantastic. All right, next up is the knife, possibly one of 2 knives from CIVIVI that I think everyone's really been waiting for ever since the Blade Show debut earlier this year. The button lock Cogent, coming in. Again, I'm showing you the fanciest version here. Base price on these is about $70. This version right here with the Damascus blade, about $98. And well, we'll talk about the blade here for a second. Some of the same things essentially that make that Snick so nice, you see here on the Cogent as well. It's maybe a little less belly, a little less swoopy, but it still has a really good slicing profile, really good high flat grind, thin blade stock, thin enough blade stock. It's just going to be an awesome, awesome slicer. 9CR based steel here for the Damascus. That's where you're going to get your edge retention. So that's roughly equivalent to something like 440C. The standard blades come with a Sandvik 14C28N. Really solid stuff. I'm a big fan of that steel. Micarta, or G10, available on the handles right now. This is the green micarta, and I think that's the only option with the Damascus right now. But if you go the other way, you've got purples, jades, everyone likes the purple right now, and black and red, I believe, as well. Deep carry pocket clip, reversible, but I know what you're thinking. Flip the daggone thing already. What everyone's here to see is that button lock, and I think even more so than the button lock Elementum, they've really nailed this design, really nailed this execution of the button lock. And the reason I say that is you don't have to push the button down to actually allow the blade to open, which you do have to do on the Elementum. This is a flipper, and if you've been looking for something that could give you the feel of, I'm gonna say it, something like the ProTech Malibu, which is $200 or more, you don't have that kind of money to spend, you can get that kind of fidget friendliness, that kind of oh so satisfying action with this guy right here. The knife drops shut, as you can see. When you disengage the lock, you can even push, do the little centrifugal flick open if you like, or just do that oh so compliant flipper. Really, really cool. All right, next up, we've got a new Kershaw, a new version of their Concierge, a Dmitry Sinkovich design, just in time for the holidays here, and probably one of the better outfitted versions of this that I've seen so far, coming in about $57. You've got a D2 blade, 3¼ inches long. You've got natural micarta for the handles. Nice rugged look and feel thanks to that micarta. Actually feels really good in the hand, has a very silky type of texture to it. Stone washed finish on the D2 should help with corrosion resistance a little bit, and you've got a hollow grind behind that edge itself. This is a KVT ball bearing flipper. No assist here, so you don't have to worry about that spring pressure when you go to close the knife. Just have that great flipping action the whole time. Weird thing about this model, at least in my mind, is the pocket clip. You can see you've got 2 windows cut out of the handle and a trough milled between them, and that's where the pocket clip sits. And as you can see, let me fold it up here, does not stick up from the handle very much. So not really a great option for really thick pants, but for thinner pants and maybe shorts in the summer especially, sometimes you do have to worry about those kind of getting slippy if you don't have a ton of retention on your pocket clip. This guy is going to have a lot of retention because it's essentially pinching the fabric between several different planes here right in the middle. It's going to be a little bit more tricky or fiddly to use when you go to put it back in your pocket, but that's kind of going to be the trade-off from that respect. So take it or leave it, but that's what it is on this particular guy. I really do like the lines to this. You guys know I like some nice flowing, graceful lines. You definitely get that right here. Next up is a new Finch. This is the Drifter. Blue micarta here, a really nice looking blue. Type of color you don't usually see on micarta, which I think is really cool. Not quite as hand-filling a grip as the Kershaw we just looked at. Part of that is due to the size, part of that's also because you've got a flat slab of micarta, as opposed to the nice contouring you get on that CIVIVI design. But let me back up. Price on this guy about $130. And in addition to that micarta version, you can also get a snakewood option right now that looks really cool. Both of them come with the Finch shield, which actually glows in the dark. You'd probably never know it though, because you're probably it's gonna be in your pocket most of the time and not really soaking up the rays. When you pull it out, it just looks like a kind of fanciful old school shield, but you get the modern stuff to go with kind of an old school vibe. Sub 3-inch blade, 154 cm steel, nicely finished, milled titanium pocket clip, and a liner lock. In fact, with Christmas season here upon us, I think these Finches make really good knives, really good gifts, I should say. Not just this model, but especially for if you got like a dad or grandpa who's still kind of very old school. You've got a knife here with some old school vibes, but you've got convenient opening. You've got the locking mechanism. You've got ball bearings. You've got the clip to keep it stable in the pocket. Definitely something worth checking out as a gift for sure. All right, next up is, I think another highly giftable item is the QSP Penguin. Very popular knife, and you get some good features for the money. And this guy right here is only about $38.50, and you get upgraded handles. So you're still getting the same great features of the knife, and you're getting this shred carbon fiber with some red kind of embedded accents in it. It's also a option with blue accents. Really solid knives. Definitely, even at the, especially at the around $30 price point, these are knives that always feel like they cost more than they do. But what do you get here? Just over a 3-inch blade, D2 steel, nicely finished. You've got that sheep's foot profile with a perfectly straight edge, quite sharp as well. Thumb studs only, no flipper, and no ball bearings, but as you can see when I opened it there, you don't really need them in this case. They're going to be easier to keep clean as well. Deep carry pocket clip, which is reversible. Nice package in the pocket. Nice profile for utility work. And something kind of a little extra special on the handles there as well. All right, next up we're going to go a bit higher budget-wise, but still a couple things that are a little extra special this time of year. First off, from William Henry, we've got a fixed blade. This is the Raven Epic fixed blade, and I gotta be honest, I didn't even know that William Henry made any fixed blades. Being a fixed blade guy, I had to show it to you. Really cool thing here going on. Price, almost $1,000 though. Quite pricey. We've got a 3-inch blade, VG10 core Damascus, but the handles are really where it's at. We've got G10 here and a fossilized mammoth tooth inlay. But the cool thing about it is, rather than go with just a flush inlay, this is actually a really thick piece of mammoth going all the way down to the steel itself, because they left a window, or in between the black G10 and that mammoth, you can see the blade. The whole thing's been dipped to bring out that Damascus pattern, and you get a glimpse of that in the handles. Really, really neat. Of course, you got a fob here at the end with the little decorative bit there. Really nice little shape. I mean, I can get all 4 of my fingers on there, no problem. Even if you have really large hands, you've got the fob there to kind of extend your grip. Elegant profile for daily use, maybe a little gentleman's steak knife. And this is not really going to be a heavy use knife if you choose to go ahead and use it. But I should mention that that gap there that creates that cool artistic touch could introduce a hot spot. It's going to give you a little extra grip at the same time, by the same token. So keep that in mind. I'm kind of smitten with this, but I certainly don't have $1,000 to spend on it myself. Sheath comes with a very nicely executed black leather belt sheath. Not too much to say other than that it's quite good, but really it's just there to keep your precious thing still looking quite precious. I like just little details. I love this plunge line here. It's kind of been milled in and follows this arcing path through the spine and into the swedge of the blade. Just little details like that are just so cool. All right, this next knife, a little bit of a bargain compared to the previous one. Half price. Coming in about $500. New special edition of the Microtech Hera with, they call this the Source variant because it has this custom artwork here on the handle, both sides of it. Very highly decorative. The artist here is Scarlett Cussell. Just a really cool look, black and white, offset really nicely with these gold accents, both on the dual fullers there, the screws that you can see, and the milled pocket clip on the back. Nice little big old, not little, big old ball bearing there at the end for the retention point. Microtech action, very satisfying. One of the more striking OTFs out there. In fact, you can also get it in Exocet format right now as well. For a little bit less money. I don't have the price in front of me though, but same vibes, and you get even more of the artwork really thanks to that big, wide, flat section that the Exocet gives you. Really, really cool. Definitely something that's going to make an impression this year, whether you buy it for yourself and don't tell the significant other that you bought it. It's definitely going to make an impression, or if you're buying it for someone else too.
Still don't tell your significant other.
Yeah, you still might not want to do that. Next up, we'll stick with some tactical stuff now since we just showed an OTF. Some new versions of the Fox 479 folding Karambit with a blue Twill carbon fiber handle. You can get it in black or stone-washed blade finish with this. Price about $140. Just check out how cool that handle looks for a second. I guess technically it's probably not actually carbon fiber because I don't think you can actually color the fibers blue like this, but it gets the point across anyway. Really, really neat. I picked the black, but I think the stonewash might look even a little bit better. I'm not sure. I keep going back and forth, but you can check out the pictures on the website, of course.
Buy them both and decide for yourself.
Yeah, you can always do that if you want. Or to keep the one you like, give the other one away, gift the other one. It's the same 479 you know and love. You've got plenty of length here, nice broad finger grooves for grip, and a nice comfortable ring there at the back. All the inside and outside edges all crowned over, so there's no hot spots from that. You've got a liner lock, reversible pocket clip, and it is set up for right side carry in, removing it from your pocket in standard Karambit grip. You've got the flipper tab here at the back. You've also got that licensed Emerson wave there at the spine side, so you can open that lickety-split as you're drawing it from your pocket. It's going to be right in the ready position, and it's going to look rather good as you get there, I do say. Next up, another tactical knife, new version of the Cold Steel Gunsite Counterpoint 1, coming in about $110 right now. Dagger style profile, but this is single-edged, although technically would you count every one of those serrations as another edge?
I can't count that right.
You don't have enough fingers and toes, do you? Shoot, now I want to count it to see if there's less than 20 or not. I suppose you could make an argument that each one of those serrations is its own separate edge, but this is not a double-edged dagger, but you get about 3.8 inches of blade, AUS 10 stainless steel, flat ground with the big old swedge. And here at the back section, where the dual thumb studs live, you get some cool file work there in the spine. Nice little touch that looks good, and if you are choking up, behind the serrated section here, it's going to act a little bit like jimping. It'll give you a little bit of extra grip. Speaking of extra grip, we've got Grivex handles with a very aggressive orange peel texture and a bit of contour to it as well. Feels comfortable. You've got a ton of surface area to keep your grip secure. I didn't even talk about the holes in the handle there, which give you even more for your fingertips to latch onto. Tri-head lock lives here at the back, so you've got a lot of strength behind that blade itself. Folds up. This is what I'm talking about compared to that Boker we saw earlier, which sits a little bit slimmer than something like this counter sight. The counter sight here, or sorry, the counterpoint, Gunsite counterpoint. You know what I'm talking about.
Words.
Definitely has a chunkier feel in the pocket, and if you don't want that, you're not gonna like this particular knife. The advantage here is you do get another very hand-filling grip. Very different type of hand-filling grip as you get compared to that Boker earlier, but a hand-filling grip nonetheless. Single pocket clip, unlike some cold steels that come with two, because this one is a symmetrical pocket clip that's gonna work easily on either side. All right, now we're gonna go something completely the opposite of tactical and talk about some Swiss Army knives. A couple of collectible, gifty things from them, which we always see this time of the year. Both of them coming in just under $100. The first is, let me get the name right, this is a Climber Lite Winter Magic Special Edition for 2021. Primary feature, of course, the custom Celador scales there. Really cool, kind of geometric, Christmassy holiday pattern. Non-denominational Christmas, we'll say. Good cheer all around. Now the tool set on this knife is very similar to the Explorer. You get some things you don't see too often on a Swiss Army knife, including this 3D Phillips driver here on the front side. You also get a little LED light right here. Kind of cool and easy to change the batteries because it opens up just like any other of the tools that you might normally get on a pocket knife like this, which is pretty neat if I do say so myself. Backside, you've got the parcel hook, you've got an awl, you've got the corkscrew with the eyeglass screwdriver in there. You've got toothpick and tweezers, you've got scissors, you've got a couple blades, you've got your bottle opener and your can opener.
Partridge in a pear tree.
And maybe one of those too. I don't know. Let's look real close to get a real close in on those trees. Is there a partridge in there?
Looks like a turkey.
All right, you can get out then. One more from Swiss Army Knife. Every year for the last several years, we get a limited edition Huntsman in a zodiac sign for the year. This year, of course, is the year of the tiger. Thomas, you grabbed the wrong one. This is the bull or whatever.
Photoshop.
All right, we're gonna pretend. All right, this is Thomas's fault, you guys, not mine. We're gonna pretend this is the year of the tiger zodiac. The pattern on the front is a little bit different, but you get the same kind of vibes. You get the gold and the red, which of course, if we're talking zodiac, we're talking China. Gold and red, of course, has special significance for them. See, 2021.
That's this year.
I'm very confused right now. We'll sort it out in the comments. Really nice packaging on these guys. You've got Chinese on one side, you've got English on the back. Again, think of the target market for this guy though. Really impressive packaging. One of the best you typically get from Victorinox. Yeah, really, really neat stuff. Yeah, that is strange.
Wish we could see it.
I wish you could see it too. We'll leave a link in the description. Sorry, folks. But moving on. Maybe I'll show it next week if we pull the right one. Thomas. Next up, a couple of Kizers. I did mention last week we had a bunch of Kizers that came in and that I'd show you. Oh, wait, I forgot a thing. You also get a nice moon-shaped charm with the Winter Magic Edition earlier. You could hang right there or do something else with. I didn't take it out of the package, though. It's still in the nice little plastic, so it's very pristine. But onward to the Kizers. If they're still with us, they think we're completely unprofessional at this point.
Or they're just watching at 1.5 speed.
Kizer D.O.C. The D.O.C. Quatch flipper. Man, I thought the Towser K was a funny name from last week. This is an even funnier name. But price on this guy is about $69. You get a 3-inch N690 blade. And the thing with this kind of, we'll call this sort of a cleaver slash straight razor hybrid blade shape, is because it's so massive looking, you can get a 3-inch blade that doesn't look puny at all. I mean, this looks like a much larger blade than 3 inches would suggest. At least I think so. Hollow ground, no, actually, sorry, we're flat ground on the blade, but you have that kind of distinctive leading edge there that's reminiscent of a straight razor. You've got an inset liner lock. The handles here are my favorite part. Red paper micarta. I love a good paper micarta, and it's a really nice execution right here. Goldish type backspacer. It's probably stainless steel or aluminum that they've colored that. It's not actual gold. Good flipping action. I believe ball bearings in the pivot, although maybe not. Yes, they are ball bearings in the pivot. Handle shape itself, a little bit small for me due to this bird's beak here. I can get my pinky behind it a little bit, but it doesn't feel like, it's not like a solid grip. Slightly smaller hands might do a little bit better than my slightly larger than average hands here. You can also get this with black canvas micarta. Go with the red paper, it's really cool. And it's red and gold as well, if you're into that sort of thing. Next up is the Nalu Z82, and this one is one of my favorites, I think, from their latest batch of releases, just because the shape of the blade and into the handle, the way it kind of flows together, the proportions of it, I think just work really well. $65 normal price on this guy, 3.5 inch N690 Tonto blade, single bevel or single grind. You don't have multiple grinds on it. Just a very usable flat grind day to day. And it's one of those Tontos that is not gonna kind of annoy me, a decidedly non-Tonto person, for my EDC, because it's a gentle belly to the tip. It's not this hard, abrupt edge. It's gonna be very easy to sharpen and very easy to use, just like any other blade style. Really dig that. Really like the black stonewashed finish against the black G10 with gold accents. Just a really nice look overall. Nice liner lock. Kind of the only thing you don't get that would check like all the boxes of the enthusiast base nowadays is maybe a deep carry pocket clip. I don't mind terribly because I think the rest of the knife just really does it for me. Ball bearings, nice flipping action, great profile overall. All right, last but not least, we have a Carlos Elstner design. This is the Rapids, $59 on this guy. Very clean profile here as well. 3.5 inch blade again, actually not again, N690. You've got 154 CM on this guy. Kind of in a similar tier performance-wise. At least I generally think of them as such. Two materials on the handle scales themselves. You've got black G10 for the base and a green linen micarta for the inlay on both sides of the handle, and it is seamless, man. It is really nicely executed. I can't feel the transition from one to the other at all. Just really nicely done. Matte texture on the micarta itself, so you've got a good compliant grip, not too slick, not too ragged either. Couple of full-length liners, liner lock, ball bearings, deep carry pocket clip on this guy, reversible on this guy as well. And of course, really clean profile closed up. Couple of thumb studs, no flipper, but it pops open really nice. Full flat grind, just a very usable shape, very clean, very elegant overall. Really dig that guy. And the cool thing about these Kizers is, I think more than anyone else right now, they're nailing this kind of, as part of their Vanguard collection, they're nailing a price point. I mean, we're talking like 60 to 90 bucks on some things that feel tiers above, man. Just feel absolutely excellent. I mean, would you ever suspect this is like a $65 knife? Contoured handles, fit and finish like this. I'm just really impressed. I got to give them props. Give credit where credit is due. So, but anyway, that is all I've got to show you right now. There will be links in the description below where you can see all of these knives we just pictured, as well as that one Swiss Army knife we didn't actually picture. Thomas.
I'm sorry.
But while you're over there, make sure you sign up for our Knife Rewards program so that when you spend your money on one of these knives, whether for yourself or for your gift giving this season, at least you'll earn some free money to spend on your next one. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center, signing off. See you next time.